And I'd like to wish everyone a very good evening and welcome to Saturday Night Super League, a bonus round thrown on because, as most of you know, the affectionately named Baby Devil turns 13 tomorrow, so he's currently downstairs trashing my living room, although probably not. There's six of them down there playing Mario Kart on Switches, so I'm locked away in the bedroom and thought, what better way to spend a Saturday evening than with you guys and a bonus round of Super League? I've noticed that the acoustics in here are a little bit different. I imagine I'm coming through a little bit echoey. So let me know if that becomes a problem, and I'll just stop talking and bounce through the fixtures without any talking. Hopefully, one or two managers might join me throughout the evening as well for some instant post-match reaction. If you wish, there's no pressure to do so. Otherwise, it is just me. I've had a couple of requests from managers to be on late, so I will do for those managers that have asked. Otherwise, I'll pretty much go as the game dictates. Evening, Alf, who's joined in the chat. For those of you who joined before I lifted the mics up, I've been going through some stats, and I looked at the referees this time, and it was interesting to see the average ratings of a couple of referees, but the traditionalists and the historians will not be too surprised to see, although rated an 8, look at the stats for Super League legend Wayne Dade. 3 games, 3 reds, 15 yellows. A ridiculous amount of cards. And probably the reason, because he is not good for entertainment, that he is down in one of the lower sort of game representations. I wonder if we'll see Mr. Blaine or Mr. Zeta make their season debuts tonight. I doubt it very much. I also flicked through the indeed, Martin, Wayne Dade, our version of Mike Dean, loves the attention. Absolutely ridiculous. Also flicked through some of the team stats. Games without winning, interesting to see Loco now up there on 6. Games without losing, Devils on an incredible 10-game unbeaten run. Quick look at the league table as well. It's still very, very tight. Take Devils out of it because they're 11 points clear of Burn, but there's only 5 points separating 6th place Leddersford to 13th placed Astor. Hope you don't mind me putting on a Saturday show. I know it puts a little bit of pressure on everyone to put the teams in, but thank you. Everyone did make the effort to put the teams in, so it certainly gave me something to do. I hope I don't impact too much on your Saturday evening. Hello, Greavesy, and to Scott and to Dimble, who have all appeared in the chat now as well. Let's get straight on with the action. And yes, I'm fine with that. We've got Leddersford, Fulchester to kick us off. If either manager wants to jump on Zoom, then by all means please do so. Other than that, I'll have a quick look through the teams. The history of this fixture sees Fulchester with a very, very good record. Only 1 defeat in 7, and they have in fact won the last 1, 2, 3, 4. Why can't I see the... Oh, there it is. Yeah, they've won the last 5. Fulchester in this one. Leddersford without CMAC and Gianna Cheddar tonight. Yes, I understand the boxing is on as well. It was poorly timed birthday, really, wasn't it? So thanks for keeping the updates in there as well, because I was going to watch it if there was no Super League. Alf keeps his same tactic, but a couple of changes. Ambrosini moves forward from his normal defensive midfield position. Patsazoglu comes in. Nicky Ferenko coming in to the attacking midfield positions. Ronaldinho switching over to the left. Last time out, they had that big win over Dragons, deserved win as well. So Alf looking, now that he's in the top 6, to really build some momentum and stay there. Let's move over to the visitors and Fulchester. who go unchanged. They keep this. They keep the formation that they had and the team that they had last time out for the 2-1 win over Loco. It wasn't a classic, but they got the job done. Evening Baptista, hope you are well. Fulchester find themselves in fourth, and they've got a little bit of a cushion, but not as much of a cushion as they would like. 4 points above the dotted line, and 4 points from third. Evening Tato, welcome aboard the Saturday night Super League bus. No new injury concerns, hence the unchanged abilities for Fulchester, who ended that sort of long by their standards, 5-game winless run with that win last time out. Get me on whenever, 5 feet, I'm home and furious, ready for the evening. No worries at all, Tato. I will do so, sir. So let's get straight on with the action. Again, 2 teams currently in the top 6. The chasing pack arguably will be wanting a draw, worst case a Fulchester win. Let's see if we can have any predictions in the chat, please, as we kick off game number 1 of the evening. And it's Fulchester away from home to Leddersford. Leddersford is starting quickest. As I say that, though, Shevchenko puts the away side ahead on 9 minutes. Dave saying Leddersford have got this, or not at the moment. They don't. They're going to have to come from behind again. Corruption-related anger issues. We are living in a strange world at the moment, so I'm just hoping a bit of Saturday night Super League manages to take people's minds off what's going on around the world. Martin predicting 2-0 home win, clearly not going to happen. Tato saying 3-3. We've got to half time and it's 1-0. It's 3-3 in terms of shots on goal. Both teams doing relatively well in terms of efficiency, getting them on target, but the goalkeepers are saving most of what's thrown at them at the moment. Not a lot of action though from these two sides. Leddersford dominating the pass completion. Be interested to see how many they've actually attempted throughout the team. Tackles fairly low from both sides, just above half one, and headers exactly equal. If Astor concede a pen to a handball, I'm going to die. and Baptista predicting 1-1. Very, very much on the cards, that, sir. The play for Leddersford shared throughout the team. Interesting to see. Ambrosini still very much involved in his more advanced role. Perhaps wanting a little bit more involvement from Petkov and Etsabaria, but realistically, Alf will be relatively content, I think, seeing that. I mean, the defenders aren't having to attempt too many tackles, which shows by the fact that Fulchester aren't creating that much. Paredes doing well, winning 4 out of 4 of his. And the pass completion, as we said, is relatively decent. So, Alf, let me know if you want to make any changes. Not seen Maka or Ryan yet in the chat. I'm not sure if they're able to join or not. They'll be looking for a lot more from their attacking players. Ronaldo got a very 100% pass completion rate, but look at the amount of touches there from Cisse, Shevchenko and Nedved. Not a lot going on. Nicky Butt, as always, the star man for Fulchester. It's a very good question, Martin, and one that I'm sure Alf has already alluded to before we went live, and I'm sure he won't answer directly. But Ambrosini had been pulling out some outstanding ratings of late, and is the man that was moved forward because of unavailability elsewhere. It's an interesting choice to do so, Alf going as is, so we're able to kick off the second half. No changes from either side. And Van Nistelrooy sends one into orbit as we approach the hour mark. Fulchester now building a bit of a head of steam, looking for a second. Leddersford come forward themselves again. Starting to look a bit more end-to-end this. And with, 17 minutes to go, we'll slow it down a little bit. Oh, there's Maka, evening mate, who's gone as is. 79 minutes now on the clock. And here's Ronaldo. And a good save from the keeper, puts it out for corner. Beckham swings it in and Patsoglu gets it clear. Throw in now to the away side. No worries at all, Maka. No worries at all. It's a Ronaldo. Ronaldo surely rounds this one off with his 5th of the season. Yes, no worries at all for anyone who joins this one late. No one was expecting a Saturday night Super League, and then to announce it a few hours before kickoff. I appreciate people would certainly have had other plans. Are we going to get a consolation here for Leddersford? No, we're not. And the first game of the evening finishes 2-0 to Fulchester. Massive win that for Fulchester against another current top 6 side, and also a big result for the chasing pack. Tato straight in there. Fulchester starting to motor again now. Completely agree. Ever since taking duties away from Ryan, Mack has certainly started getting the best out of his team again. Close-ish game, Fulchester arguably shading it. Still, I think both managers will be slightly concerned at the fairly low tackle percentages won. Leddersford dominating in the air. So there's some positives to take. But as I say, that is a massive, massive win for Fulchester. And the chasing pack now will be licking their lips at the opportunity to. There could be a number of teams now looking at being in the top 6 by the end of the evening. Let's have a quick look at the home side. A couple of fairly decent performances. You look at Taibbi there. Petkov, as always, one of the better Ledford players. Kiva as well, the skipper. The Ambrosini, as Martin picked out, had been pulling out some excellent numbers. I mean, look at his last 5 games, 9-8, 8-9-8. Moved into the more advanced role, and it certainly did not suit him against that Fulchester midfield. He was much more ineffective. I mean, look at the tackling stats there. 9 attempted. I think it was only 2, possibly even 1 in the first half. He attempted a lot more in the second half, but was not completing the tackles, and that will be a concern. As for the away side, Nicky Butt, another man of the match award for him, another 9 out of 10 performance. Buffon doing well, a lot higher average for him. And it'll do Maka and Ryan the power of good. See both Shevchenko and Ronaldo on the score sheet. Congratulations to them, commiserations to Alf as we conclude game number 1. Game 2 sees us go north of the border to Haggis Hunters as they entertain Churchtown. Churchtown, again, a slight tweak to this now familiar formation, sticking with the Bruges-Salas partnership up front. Agahawa moving inside with Raquelme dropped to the bench. Luke Chadwick restored to the starting 11, but that back 5 unit that Dimble's come to trust and rely on remains intact, with Terry, Viali, Tomasi and Mendes de Silva. Historically, Haggis having the edge, although they're normally quite close games, with the exception of this 5-1 result a couple of seasons ago. Good evening, Rob. How are you, pal? Evening, Hodgie, as well, who's just popped up in the chat. Thank you all for coming on this Saturday night. Again, it's not a usual night for Super League, and I appreciate people have things to do on a Saturday night. So thanks all for joining. If Dimble or Ian do want to jump on the Zoom, they are more than welcome to for this one. Again, just to reiterate, it is available to them. I have looked through the Churchtown team. Van Bommel, suspended, was a major factor in what Dimble has had to pick from tonight. Let's have a look at the home side. Palermo unavailable due to his playing against his parent club. Mendietta's injury, he hasn't recovered in time for this one, so Stephen Reed continues in midfield. Dimble, don't worry about having guests. Either sack them off and come on here, or just enjoy on mute. We've got nothing else. That's not true, Hodgie. I know a lot of people like to socialise on a Saturday night, or would rather be watching the boxing than listening to me ramble on. But again, for those that missed it, I've got a living room full of teenagers all playing Mario Kart, so I'm much happier being out the way. Haggis have gone unchanged, just a slight tactical tweak from what they did last time out to the defeat to Hull, so it might seem a bit of a surprise. Casillas keeping his place is the biggest surprise. Again, we discussed their goalkeeper situation on Thursday night. Still no place for Torres, the fit against Saha, not in the squad either. So Ian clearly trusts this 11 and just put that one down to a bad night at the office. So if we can have some predictions, please, for game 2 of the evening. Haggis' tactic looks interesting. You'll see plenty of this, Dave, to be honest. You'll see plenty of this style of formation tonight if you stick with us. Should he? I don't think he should. Have I missed that one completely? The message. Oh, sorry, and I read the second message. It just used the same tactic, but if you could take the arrow off. I missed the first one where you changed the goalkeeper. I do apologise, pal. That's completely my fault. Like I say, I read the second message about using the same. I missed the first one. I do apologise. Mac wanting to... Well, before we kick this one off, it looks like I've got a guest from the first game. Evening, Macca.
Evening, Fifer.
How are you?
Tired, mate. Sorted the kids out. Sat on the couch with the wife. Doors off for a bit. Next thing I know, it's half time. I'm 1-0 up.
Well, congratulations on your victory on game 1.
I tell you what, that's a massive result. That Leathersford have been in unstoppable form recently, so that was a nice, pleasant surprise.
No, absolutely. And I was saying at full time, nice for you to see Ronaldo and Shevchenko on the score sheet.
Yeah, it could be some pairing if those two get going. Tried obviously something different last couple of games, seems to have worked. So conversation for me and Ryan, I think, tomorrow to see what we want to do. But yeah, that's been, again, I think lovely to see two big names on the score sheet.
I think for those outside of Team Fulchester, and again, I reiterate, I do enjoy reading generally the Team Fulchester chat when you're submitting the team. But I think the conversation for those of us outside of that is Ryan, stay as far away from picking the team as possible.
Well, I don't know. Well, if people want a chance of making the top 6, maybe they want him involved again. Who knows?
Have you got much else on this evening?
No. I'm just, like I said, literally come to after a bit of an emergency nap because the kids have absolutely ruined me all day. There seems to be two scrawny kids fighting each other on TV. I don't know what that's about. But other than that, yeah, nothing. So I thought I'd maybe just jump on, see what the crack is, and then disappear into the night as always.
No, well, thank you very much for jumping on. We are about to kick off Haggis Churchtown, so if I can, as you are here, just ask you for a prediction. I'm kind of, with all due respect to Dimble, I'm kind of hoping Haggis don't lose after completely missing that Ian changed his team and only reading one of his messages.
Well, I was going to back Haggis anyway, actually. I think Churchtown are a better home side than away side, if memory serves. But yeah, I think probably Haggis 2-1 here.
You're backing a Haggis 2-1. Ian, you've put take Casillas. Do you actually want me to sub Casillas off, or do you want me to leave him on now that we're about to kick off? Because it will take up one of your sub options. I will swap it if you want me to. I just need to put that out there before we do. So if you can just confirm if you want me to make that sub already, or if do you want to play through to half time and see how it goes. It's always likely to happen at some point that I got one team completely wrong. This is clearly the worst. Normally I can, if it's a tactic, I can change it, but unfortunately a player I can't. Just leave it, mate. It's cool. No worries. Right, let's kick off. Are you going to stick with us for this game, Macca?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good lad. We kick off then, and it is Haggis who have started the quickest. The last time I didn't change someone, though, I will point out, Ian, was a Devils team and they went and won. So hopefully for you that will happen again. Although Churchtown having a couple of attempts there, failing to convert, that's been a problem for them at times this season. Although not so much recently, so a bit of a surprise to see the chances being wasted. Long range effort there from Haggis, and another chance coming, and Bruno as well. Both teams having a go, and Rosicky scores from 20 yards out to give Haggis the lead on 40 minutes. And they come forward again looking for a quick fire second. Stephen Reed getting very involved. A yellow card handed out. And that takes us to half-time with Haggis winning 1-0. I mean, you can see the stats on the screen, Macca. I'm surprised Churchtown have only got one. It looked like they'd had a fair few attempts, particularly between sort of 20 and 30 minutes. It looked like they'd had a few attempts.
Yeah, it didn't look as one-sided as that. And you know what? I cannot believe I'm going to say this. I will get absolute pelters for this, particularly for the amount of shit I gave Ian over the Vieira deal. But I can almost see why he's done it now. About having a team greater than the sum of its parts, rather than relying on a string of superstars. So annoyingly, yes, Vieira went to Burn. It made Burn stronger, but Jeremies has been fantastic since Ian brought him in. He seems to be a far more complete side than he was last season. So I might have to admit humble pie on that one. But yeah, overall, stronger performance than the flashing text suggested.
No, absolutely. I've just clicked onto the Haggis stats himself, and the man you picked out, Jeremies, is the pick of the bunch so far. So yeah.
What's the German word for Nicky Butt?
Just bear with 1 sec. I'll be down once I finish, and I'll do it for you. I don't know, about an hour. Kids party, unwanted, they can wait. You guys are much more important. So yes, as we were, Jens German Nicky Butt indeed. Stephen Reed perhaps struggling a little bit, swamped. I'm not sure if you saw the teams before you came on, Macca, but Reed playing in midfield on his own up against Petrov and Agahauer, he was always going to find that a bit more difficult. A little bit surprised that Duff has had so few touches. Haggis, both of their wing backs normally a lot more involved. Ian making the change with Mira coming on for Reed at half time. Are you surprised to see that changed or not?
No, I think Mira probably adds a bit more defensive steel and a bit more noose about the position. I mean, Stephen Reed, he's jack of all trades, master of none, in my view, on this game. For me, he shouldn't be anywhere near a starting 11 in Super League, but he probably is useful to have on the bench, a bit like I do with David Prutton. I'm not sure what his best position is, but he covers 5 or 6, so it's useful to have.
Absolutely. Quick look at the Churchtown figures. Again, quite mixed. You've got Oliver Kahn there and Tomasi, the two standout players for Churchtown, but then you've got players like Salas only rating a 6 at half time. And he's the only player to have had an attempt. Dimble will be hoping that changes in the second half.
Yeah, definitely. I know he's had some good numbers out of Salas recently, so that is a bit of a surprise that he's on a 6. But then again, Haggis's defensive line is sort of quietly underrated, I believe, by the rest of the league. Interesting that Riquelme is on the bench. I know Dimble's had some trouble, and arguably a lot of the league has had some trouble in trying to get magic numbers out of Riquelme. But for me, he would always be starting. He's that mercurial. Let's talk in summer, Dimble, maybe.
Riquelme is coming on at half time. He had been playing recently, but a couple of low ratings saw Dimble take him out of the 11. But he is coming on at half time for Petrov. So perhaps again, you're not surprised to see that offers a bit more attacking intent and creativity.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'd have perhaps lined up with Brugging. No, has he got Brugging in centre midfield there? Sorry, just.
No, he's in the AM position.
No, Agahauer as well. Agahauer's not a centre midfielder at all. So that's I think that midfield choice has been a bit weak. So it's probably been a bit of a turgid battle between Petkov, Agahauer, and Stephen Reed. Just 3 lads wandering about out of position.
So both sides making the one change. Are you expecting much different in the second half?
Well, hopefully another goal for each team, so that my prediction's right. But other than that, no, I think Haggis will see this out. To be honest, Churchtown have statistically offered nothing, even though the text says otherwise.
Well, let's see if you're right as we kick off the second half. It's Churchtown who start this half a little bit quicker. Salas with another attempt going over the bar. Haggis now coming forward, but Smith offside. And now Churchtown building a little bit of pressure again themselves. Brujink, Chadwick all involved. Salas again. As we pass the hour mark, it's still 1-0 to the home side. That 10 minutes has gone quite quickly. Not much happening.
Oh,
and then
to 77.
And then all of a sudden, you're right, it jumps to 77 and John Terry, but no. Steve Wright saying no reason Riquelme should be shit. It's mad. Quite right, but then there's no reason Zidane should be shit, and he is god awful. Haggis again having an attempt or two there to wrap this up as we're now into the last 5 minutes before there'll be 2 minutes added on. And now Churchtown coming forward again. Riquelme. Casillas saves, deflects. Brujan, another save from Casillas, backing the chairman's decision to overrule the manager and not replace him. And Haggis win 1-0 with that last-ditch save from Casillas saving the points. Congratulations to Ian. Commiserations, Dimble. And Macca's still here. Even game, just Churchtown, as we've said so many times this season, wasteful in front of goal.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe they are just lacking that sort of decent centre forward away from being a decent side. Because again, if you look at that, if you created 8 chances, 3 of which on target, you'd still expect a goal out of that potentially, or at least a bit more of a clear-cut chance than the text suggested. Otherwise, the rest of the stats aren't too bad. They've been in the game.
I've noticed. I mentioned it a couple of times on Thursday, but I've noticed it in both the games so far tonight as well. I don't rate a 55% tackle succession as very good.
No, yeah, that's true, but I think this might be a task for Swan, and unfortunately a very lengthy one. But I wonder what the average percentage of tackles won per team is, because I know a lot of teams have got individual, superstars like Nicky Butt, Jeremies, Vieira, whoever, across the league. But I wonder what the overall team average is, because a lot of teams are playing with AMs and wingers and stuff like that who aren't really renowned for tackling. So I wonder if the league average is about 60% anyway, which, if you look at it like that, probably isn't too bad, in terms of what the league standard is.
We've had speculation in the past about Brad Mackay. Hodgie now suggesting that tonight's referee looks like he might have some Scottish blood in him as well.
Well, they all do. If they committed a crime 200 years ago, they will be.
Decent ratings all round for Haggis as we click onto their stats there, particularly the defensive players, Neville and Samuel. Casillas, of course, as we said, with that last minute save as well, doing well. Mira having a bit more of an impact in that midfield than Reed. Decent all round for Haggis, that.
Yeah, definitely. Solid performance, good result. I think that keeps them within touching distance of the top 6. If I'm the C-suite, Ian's Haggis is sort of the tea room lunch break suite.
The canteen.
The canteen suite.
Let's have a look at Churchtown. Tomasi picking up man of the match for his performance. Salas with a very poor rating there. You mentioned about their need for a striker. He had been in decent form before this one. 3 attempts, none on target though. Very, very wasteful on his part. Alex having a couple of attempts in the second half. Mendes da Silva not quite matching his teammate for level performance there, unfortunately for Dimble. But it's not awful. I mean, it's a negative result in a league that's very, very tight, and every game seems to be a 6-pointer. But I don't expect Dimble to be making rash changes.
No, I still think his biggest conundrum is how does he get Riquelme to do stuff? Because again, I'm looking at Riquelme's stats there and not necessarily sure why they warrant a 6 compared to some of the other lads in midfield who've got 7s, which are sort of similar in terms of pass completion and whatnot.
Yeah.
But other than that, I still think he's got enough to work with there. But transfer business wise, he's probably got to be looking at how does he get somebody in that's an upgrade on what he's got on in the forward line, or does he try and come up with something to get Riquelme, Agahawa, Brugink, or sort of supplying Salas somewhere?
Ben was it what? Why? No, I'll be down in an hour. Just tell them.
I did.
Oh my God. Honestly, if you haven't got kids, don't have teenagers. Jesus. I come out of the way so they can have fun. They can't leave me alone. Are you sticking with us for another game, Mako, or are you disappearing?
No, do you know what? I can do if you want. I can do.
It's entirely up to you.
No, go on. I will do. I'm all out of booze anyway, so I'm not going to get any worse.
Dudley have asked to be late, so we will do so. Let's have a look at Gazelle's Northern Burn. Gazelle's still bottom of the table, but form has significantly, or felt like significantly improved. 2 wins in 3. Obviously that narrow defeat, although completely outperformed by the Devils. But last time out, they did beat Astor away from home. Tonight they host Northern Burn though, so a very tricky looking tie. They slightly amended the tactics, but the attacking quartet remains the same. So they'll be looking for similar results, will I?
Yeah, I would imagine so. I think looking at the fixtures they had, to play Burn Devils and ourselves in 3 or 5 games, I think realistically, Martin, no matter how many paints he introduces to the numbers he has, I still think he probably looked at it and gone, right, well, those 3 games are free hits. If I get something great, if not, doesn't matter. And the other games he'll be looking to win. He's on a bit of a roll. Can't deny that. He's doing a lot better with that squad than, to be honest, I thought they would have done.
Yeah.
I'm not, to be honest, looking at the current names on the sheet, I'm not sure what else you can really do with that team. I mean, that front 4 isn't mega, but he's obviously getting grinding results out.
And
even if he's not the dominant team.
The important news for Martin, when we're in game 19 now, Vieri now fit again, so come the reserve swaps, he's very likely to be coming back into the first team fold.
Yeah, for sure. Do you know what? I'd even be thinking about getting Yardell called up as well, but that's obviously Martin's call. But Vieri coming back is massive.
Absolutely. No, not progress. I want past meetings. Unsurprisingly, Ian was on Thursday has said that there are very few teams that he has an outstanding record against. Gazelles are one of them.
Yep, numbers don't lie.
No, they certainly do not. And it looks like winning to naught is quite popular in this fixture. That's the one thing I'm slightly... It's hard to say surprised. Daisy not being included, I personally rate him, but not currently in the team because mine's going with Okoronkwo and Mourinho. Can you understand that decision?
Well, I think it might be a case of if it ain't broke. Udaisy's normally develops a bit better after 3 or 4 seasons in, and it looks like he hasn't played much, maybe not developed to what he was. I think when I had him at Palmer, he was, there was a few higher numbers than some of the 13s you see on screen. So maybe it's just a tried and trusted, I'll go with somebody who's got slightly better stats, and it has worked. Martin's not conceded a lot, has he, in the half a dozen games he's been in charge or whatever it is?
It's certainly slowed down. So he started here where you can see on the top of the screen. He conceded 4 to Ledison and he conceded 4 to Halls. But other than that you got
then he went to paint by numbers and then look at the difference.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It looks like Martin is trying to join us for this game as well. If his
I can drop off then if Martin would like to commentate on his own game.
Well, just give him a minute because last time we did have a couple of connection issues, so we'll just wait to see if he can actually get in. Martin, are you there? No, not yet. But by all means, if you want to drop off, Macca, I appreciate your time. If you want to stick with us until Martin's on, then you're more than welcome to as well.
Yeah, I can hold the fort till Martin gets on then if you want.
It depends if you can hear me or not.
There he is.
We can hear you. There you go. Martin, would you like to commentate on your own game and I'll drop off?
Well, we could hear him. He's gone again.
Hold the fort till Martin gets on then if you want.
Depends if you can hear me or not.
Martin, are you there?
Martin, would you like to commentate on your own game? I'll drop off.
Yeah, sounds like there's a bit of a delay, but yeah, absolutely.
Right, so no worries, lads. Leave you to it.
Thanks, Macca.
Cheers, boys. See ya.
So, good evening, Martin. How are you?
Martin, would you like to commentate on your own game? I'll drop off.
Yeah, sounds like there's a bit of a delay, but yeah, absolutely.
Right. Martin, it looks like we can hear the YouTube stream coming through as well. Oh, Martin's gone as well to try and fix his connection issues. So I'll be flying solo again until Martin can join us. Let's have a look at the Northern Burn team. Going unchanged, does Ian, from the win over Sloths. Comprehensive as well. It was 3-1 away from home. So we stick with this partnership of Vieira, Keane and Totti. Lopez and Robbins supporting Sigalko. Sigalko, who is now out on his own at the top of the goal scoring charts, one clear of Anelka. As we just give a little second, Martin's trying to join the audio again here. Still seems to be having some technical issues though. I can see it working away in the background as he tries. Northern Burn, they do have, they're 10 points inside the dotted line. I think everyone is expecting them to finish second or third at this point. And they do have the 11-point gap to Devils. Ian was saying that it's not about really chasing them, but if the points do allow, then he would obviously like to finish top. Let's go to kickoff. I'm not sure Martin is going to be able to join. It doesn't seem to be connecting in for him at the moment. Any predictions in the chat? Please do as we kick off Gazelles versus Northern Burn. And it's Gazelles through Mido. Mido gets his first Gazelles goal. And it's against Northern Burn, and the Devils fans up and down the country will be celebrating that one. Martin's back in the chat now. His audio isn't working on his laptop. I want to know what paint by numbers is in Latin. Tato saying it's going to finish 1-2, still very much a possibility, but as we approach half time, Gazelles still lead 1-0 through that Mido goal. And there's a red card for Cannavaro. And on the stroke of half time, is this game in jeopardy of running away from Northern Burn? As Agent Mido still separates the sides, but now there is a red card. And will Ian go one at the back, I wonder? We will just let Mr. Edwards take a moment to digest what's happened before deciding what to do with this. Given the strength of Northern Burn, I think I'd be tempted to carry on. However, knowing that I'll say Martin for the playoffs, I like the positivity around that, Alf. Yeah, I was saying that I think I'd be tempted to go one at the back, given that he's losing. However, knowing Ian, he's quite pragmatic. He might drop Gustavo Lopez back and bring Novotny on. Yeah, just as I was predicting there, we're going something that looks a bit like this. Medinho, we can call him here, indeed. Let's just get to half time then, as we're in injury time anyway. And there is half time. And it's not every game you see a team out attacking Northern Burn. Gazelles deservedly in the lead if you look at purely the attacking stats. And I think it was Hodgie was saying the other day that focusing on shots on goal and shots on target isn't the best way to analyse a team performance. I'm still not particularly Northern Burn doing much better in terms of tackle percentages. I'd be a lot happier seeing that. Although Gazelles absolutely dominating in the air, 81% of headers. Very impressive. But the all-important stat says the Gazelles are winning this 1-0 at half-time. Indeed, indeed. Mido getting the goal, 7 with his only attempt on goal. Tomadira having 3 attempts himself, and Asamoah. All the chances falling to the players that Martin would want. Day continues to impress, although arguably you might want a little bit higher pass completion rate. Smertin in a key central position, though, you might expect to be slightly more involved. Just having a look, yeah, and it seems to be a lot down the left. If you look at Day and then Hersey and then Mido and compare it to Asamoah's 4 passes, not much going on there. Just wait for Martin to decide if he wants to make any halftime substitutions. And he does. Giovanni is coming on for Asamoah. There we go. As for Northern Burn, a goal down, a man down, And what does Ian do here? Does he trust his team? I imagine he will. He's not the sort to panic and make rash decisions. He's still got plenty quality in this team to cause trouble with 10 men. Although would Guerrero perhaps be an option, a bit more attack-minded than say, I don't know, a Roy Keane, a bit more creativity possibly. I'm not sure I necessarily would, given that they're all playing relatively well considering. Just wait for confirmation. It certainly makes for an interesting second half. Ian going as is, so we'll kick off the second half and see how that goes. Early attempt there and another one, and there is Sigalko levelling things up, and he gets a second within 4 minutes to make it 2-1, and Robben makes it 3-1, and they have an appeal for a penalty, and it's all gone horribly wrong for Gazelles there in very quick fashion. I'll wait for confirmation that Andrade's coming on for the injured Mourinho. Ian going as is was the right decision clearly, as a blitz on the Gazelles goal has seen them go from 1 down to 3-1 up. Again, just wait for Martin's confirmation that Andrade is coming on. Yeah, there it is. So we resume the game, and a load of time flies by. Can Gazelles get one back to make it interesting? They're having a couple of attempts. We're into the final 10 minutes now, though. And here they come again. 4 minutes to be added on. Sigalko looking for a hat-trick. Misses. Into injury time. No one manages to score. And Northern Burn get a deserved victory. That second half performance was quite spectacular. Not a bad performance though from Gazelles either, although the heading percentage certainly changed in that second half. Gazelles are dominated and it ended up 50-50. The tackle ratings going down a little bit as well. Let's have a look. Barthez, probably his worst game so far in a Gazelle shirt. Sagnol as well, another one of the players that Martin was going to rely on. None of the subs came on and had much of an impact. Sayales, though, impressing there with his 9 out of 10 rating. Some of these ratings do surprise me. Defensive players getting high ratings when they concede 3 goals, particularly 3 goals in the space of about 15 minutes. Sigalko was getting man of the match. Toldo, though, having a very good game as well. And Totti leading by example. Roy Keane. I mean, there's 3 players ending the game on a 9 there. I'm seeing a lot of credit for sticking with the same team, losing and a man down at half time. But this Northern Burn side are very, very good. And that's now 2 wins in 4 for Gazelles, as they do look still capable of getting off the bottom. But the 2 defeats have come to arguably the 2 best teams in the division. Tatos believes he's got a correct score on Swanee's Super 7. Congratulations and commiserations, Martin. As we go to Astor versus Dragons, and we go to the Astor La Vista playoffs tactic. Very full Chester this. As Roberts and Owen join Rossini up top, Red and Sahamidic out wide. Emerson has a partner in centre midfield. Scally, can he do what Nicky Butt does for Fulchester? The history in this fixture, quite close. Dragons just shading it, and they are unbeaten in 5 in this fixture. Boa Morte still the only absentee, so a fairly full squad to choose from. It was for Tato when he came up with this tactic. Last time out, as we saw earlier, they did have that defeat to Gazelles, and in fact they've been in a pretty wretched run. Since beating Sloths, they haven't won in 5, losing 4 of those. Let's have a look at the away side, who make some interesting changes to the team. Raoul and Back, who partnered or who supported, I should say, Clivert last time out, both dropped to the bench. Clivert drops to an attacking midfield position and is partnered by Gallardo. Carew getting a place up top, and Zidane in that crucial centre mid position. Leysands continues to get more and more appearances, and he partners Captain Davids in defensive midfield. Gattuso suspended for this one. Key. Tato, I never beat Dragons or anyone, to be fair. If Tato or any of the Team Dragons want to jump on, then they are more than welcome to. Otherwise, while I have a quick drink, I'll ask if there are any predictions, as we're roughly halfway through the evening now. I believe this is game 4. And we kick this fixture off. 4 minutes already on the clock. Astor coming forward and having opportunities. And now Zidane, Carew, Emerton coming forward, and Baumer on the other side, and Carew again. Dragons suddenly building up a head of steam, but failing to convert. Astor put one wide. How did he miss that, it said. Ian predicting 2-0 to the home side. And we approach half-time. Are we going to get a goal before the whistle? No, is the answer to that question. Dragons creating a little bit more away from home than their hosts. Both sides wasteful, only one shot on target each. Astor winning the aerial battle. Not much, though, to separate these two teams, really. Let's have a look at the home side stats first. Vashuk doing well in centre defence. Neil Scally also doing well. Michael Owen, the pick of the attackers. Although he's getting an 8 rating, being the only one of the trio not to have a shot on goal. So clearly his 100% tackle rating and fairly high passing average is doing the job for him there. As for Dragons, as we click over, Patrick Clivert is not enjoying himself. In fact, none of the attacking players are enjoying themselves. Clivert, Gallardo and Carew all rating 5s. Not what Jamie will want to see at all there. The centre-backs, both rating 6 as well. In fact, it's only the wide players really doing anything for Dragons. All of the big name players seem to be struggling to an extent. You look at Davids and Leysands there as well. Is it just because Aston perhaps aren't creating much that they're not rating particularly highly? Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. So we're doing Lee Chun-So for Rossini and put Zizi central. No problem at all with that, Tato. Thank you. Not seen Jamie in the chat, so I will just give him 20 seconds to make sure he's not hiding in the background anywhere. Here he is. Good job, I didn't click continue this time. So we've got Raul for Gallardo. Carew for back. Paddy up top. Load of shite. There we go. So that's both teams changing their attacking setup for the second half. Let's see who that suits better. And it was Dragons with the first attempt of the half and Zidane getting involved. Astor's just starting to play themselves back into it a little bit. Chun-So I can see getting involved. Back and Raul playing it between themselves. Both teams having a go. A lot of time has flown by. Let's slow this one down. And I believe that's Zidane. Yes, Zidane on 79 minutes gives the away side the lead. And another reason for Tato not to be happy. Do his side have enough in them to get themselves back in this? We're inside the last 10 minutes now. Emerson, Owen, Roberts, Chun-So. It's like no one wants to shoot. They're all passing it to each other. Raya does an attempt though. I did put him up top. Oh no, I never. Sorry. Good spot, Tato. Not that makes any difference as we go into injury time. There's Clivert and a corner for Dragons. Scally heads it clear, back picks it up. Salihamidzic is going to get a warning. Free kick given. Raul lines it up. Back, Lucio. And there is the full time whistle. Dragons win this one 1-0. And I'm sure Tato is going to say, apart from the fact that that game was a pile of shy, that is his top 6 dream completely over now. They needed a result, in his opinion, and they did not get it. Both teams still very wasteful in front of goal, but Dragons got that all-important one. Neil Scally picking up man of the match, despite being on the losing team. 13 tackles attempted, 9-1, 4 of them key, and having a strong passing game as well. Chunso got involved in terms of creativity, but didn't offer much or anything in the way of attempts on goal. Salih Hamidic and Rayed and having an attempt each. No one having more than one shot in the whole 90 minutes for Astor. Disaster indeed, Scott. Having a look at Dragons, Back and Raul offered considerably more than Gallardo and Carew did. Brett Emerton doing a solid game, and Balmer. So clearly Dragons dominating out wide when you look at both of those players. Solid performance throughout for the away team, and players doing some good solid individual performances. Cliver, it didn't suit him in attacking midfield. I'm sure that's something that Jamie will look to change for the next game. But then again, he won, so possibly not. Congratulations to Jamie, commiserations Tato, whose bad day continues to get worse. No, we don't want to go there next. Where do we want to go? Loco? Yes, Loco against Halls. And Loco, Greasy changes it up for this one. Last time out, they lost 2-1 to Fulchester, and they've not been in a spectacular run. They are, how many did we say at start? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 without a win going into this one. So they go back to 2 up top, and Del Vecchio comes in as well to support Montella, and Inzaghi looking to maintain his 100% goal scoring record. 1 game, 1 goal. Halls dominate this fixture generally. Although Loco did win the reverse fixture earlier this season, game where Sol Campbell got sent off, but Montella had already scored 2. But this is a different Halls these days. Figo dropped from the squad entirely, as is Rivaldo, as is Seedorf. Looks like Greasy's starting to put faith in players who are performing, as opposed to the names. That boxing is cringy as fuck, by the way. Good to know that we're not missing much. And I'm pleased to say, as we head towards looking at the away side, I'm joined in the studio by Loco boss Mr. Greaves. How are you, pal?
I'm all right, mate. I'm a lot better if I didn't look at any stats or look at sides.
So welcome. While you're here, do you want to pick a captain for this game, or let the computer decide?
Let the computer decide. They're all shithouses.
No worries. As you're here and we're looking at your team, a question that has been posed by a couple of co-commentators recently, the Barthez deal. Peruzzi seems to be your go-to number one since he left, but a lot of people questioning that decision.
Peruzzi's had one poor game, and other than that, he hasn't done too badly. 2 7s, 2 8s, and a 6. You can't say that's a bad result for a Super League goalkeeper.
No, not at all.
And it's the whole team that's been shit, not just the keeper. So I thought I'd make a gamble, try and upgrade a defensive position, and I'm confident that Rio would come good.
And Rio's been playing in this sort of, some might see it as an experimental defensive midfield position last couple of games.
Yeah, well, he's the best that I've got that can play that area with Petit being suspended. Okay. And yeah, it goes from there.
Well, let's have a look at your opposition tonight. Since the new manager has come in, 2 victories, scoring 3 in both of them. Clearly, they still concede goals, but they, scoring 6 in 2. It's almost as if they've been playing Leeds the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's as if the new manager's paid off the refs this time, isn't
it? They make one change. Their Petit comes in as Gerrard is unavailable. Other than that, it's all the same from their victory over Haggis last time out.
Mm-hmm.
No surprises really from you there?
No, Jensen's team generally picks itself, doesn't it? Bit surprised DC's not in the action because he's a big fan, but DC's done nothing since season 1, so I'm not surprised.
He's not exactly hit the heights. You're right in this particular save. There was a lot of talk on, I keep forgetting what day we're on Thursday, about the performance so far of Vogel, already on 6 goals.
Yeah, he's been playing more advanced this season, hasn't he? And he's getting the rewards. He's a good player, one of the best DMs in the game, and he's good enough to play further forward, so I'm not surprised.
Well, I'll just ask in the chat if anyone has any predictions. You're not normally shy in even offering a prediction for your own side. How confident are you, having seen the Halls team?
Not entirely confident, but I do always go for my boys. I think I said first one I was going to win 2-1 because I'm managing to score goals, but I can't keep clean sheets for nothing this year.
And do you see Simone Inzaghi maintaining his 100% goal scoring record?
Yeah, and I hope bloody Montella pulls his finger out. He got a 10 on international duty and he's done fuck all for me for the past 5 games.
Let's kick this one off then, and the first 7 minutes goes by without anything happening. Inzaghi has the first attempt of the game, just hits the crossbar. Very pink and white dominated opening 20 minutes, and there is the goal, and it is Simone Inzaghi who makes it 2 goals in 2 games, and I think he's doing a shush sign to his manager who dropped him for scoring. Viduka, however, on 25 minutes makes it 1-1, and this is the sort of action we've been waiting for tonight. Montella gets a yellow. That's his contribution to the first half. 2 minutes added on where nothing happened at all, Greavesy, and we reach half time at 1-1. Hall's 1 shot on goal, 1 on target, 1 goal. The sort of strike record a lot of teams we've seen tonight certainly weren't hitting. You've created more than them, not much, but you've created more than your visitors, and you too have your goal. Thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, you can't often say that about my team this season, that I've created more than my opponents, so I'll take that for the time being. Historically, I do kick on more in the second half, so hopefully I will do that.
Well, we'll have a look at Halls first so that Jens has a chance to absorb the stats and let us know if he wants to make any changes. Just looking for anything that stands out in particular. Again, having quite a good game out on that right-hand side. Taram solid, or looking quite solid as usual. Milevski doing well. Petit not so much. Viduka certainly outperforming his strike partner Crespo. Anything that surprises you there in the opposition?
Not really. Taram waving his dick about instead of Campbell's a bit of a surprise, but one of them's going to do it, aren't they? And yeah, it's General Hools at the moment. Vogel's been putting himself about. Deserves a higher rating than what he's got, but that's the curse of the MCs, really.
We'll have a look at your stats then while we wait any news from Hools. And Makaleli there with a solid 8 rating in his position. Simone Inzaghi also getting an 8. And Klumpe is getting a 9 rating at half-time. 11 tackles attempted, 10-1, 7 key. Yeah,
he pulled his finger out, hasn't he, this game? He's turned up. Unfortunately, I think he'll be suspended for the next game, the bloody Dutch idiot. But other than that, it's tackles. I can't complain. Everyone's putting a shift in. Del Vecchio's being his big lump of a player, which I love. And yeah, it's looking good on these stats.
And would you like to make any half-time changes?
I don't think I can, mate. Peruzzi's on a 6 because he's only conceded 1. He conceded the only shot, but other than that, he's had nothing to do. So we've just got to hope the defence stays strong and leave him nothing to do.
Jens, who already admitted before a ball was kicked that he was drunk, he's asked to see his stats again, so we'll just click back briefly for him. While Jens makes a decision, let's just have a quick word on the league table if we can. We keep saying every week how tight it is, and results aren't really allowing anyone to run away in the top 6. Despite the inconsistencies that I speak about your team every week, it seems, are you still quietly confident of making the top 6?
Well, you know, I love a late run, don't I?
You do.
Last year I went 14 unbeaten and got through to the final. So
you're currently 6 without a win, though. Is that a concern?
yeah. Well, I could go 7. I could go 6 wins in a row now.
Well, let's not
And
forget you
be
didn't
in
win a
it.
single game in the playoff campaign that you actually won the title.
11 games without win. I think you'll find I went towards the back end of the season 1. 11 games without a win and picked up my trophy. So I'll take that any day.
You mentioned DC in the build-up. He's coming on at half-time for Brozek.
Yeah, can't say I'm surprised, really. Brozek's on a 6. Jens wants to make a statement. Personally, I'd prefer Brozek as a striker, so I'd probably have him instead of Viduka, but Viduka's got on the goal scoring.
Well, let's kick off the second half and see what happens then. And it's Loco again with the first attempt of the half, failing to convert from it. Here they come again. It was Inzaghi getting involved, and Scholes now, Ferdinand coming forward. Montella puts it over the bar. A yellow card awarded. Candeo with a free kick, and Crespo, and perhaps a rebound. What a save from Peruzzi. Candeo swings it in, and Collins, he can't hold on to it. Zambrotta clears. And Hull's just starting to build a head of steam now. Can they get this goal that their play is looking for? Carlos getting a yellow card. 15 minutes to play. Scholes chips it forward. And Makalele, he's chipping it forward now. Zambrotta. And it's a corner kick to Loco. Carlos swings it in. Campbell heads it clear. Now Turan, Collins, Crespo. Petit picks it up. Viduka, he's knocked over by Makalele. Candea strikes it, hits the wall. Vogel gets there first. Peruzzi with another save. His rating's certainly going to go up in this second half.
Yeah, but he's apparently shit, isn't he?
Zambrotta went for the top corner, blazes it over. 5 minutes left of normal time. Inzaghi now, Scholes, Montella, cut out by Campbell though. There's going to be 4 minutes added onto this one, and we're heading into those 4 minutes now. And as we say that, Lawson picks up an injury.
Right. Can I have Donati to come on and swap with Ferdinand?
So Donati on, swap with Ferdinand. So it looks a bit like that, yeah?
Yeah.
You certainly can, sir. As we move into injury time, and there is the final whistle.
Well played, Jens.
The game
You
finishes 1-1. Bit more action in that second half, certainly. And you still, a draw is probably fair, but you certainly created more, if not still wasteful in front of goal.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have been having shots from distance, which they're not meant to be doing. And they're not listening
You're
to
stood there
the
just whacking your finger at them. Stop doing that.
When you see on the text shot from 20 yards and you know you've told them they're not allowed to do that. And hence by bringing in players that don't fit the club ethos. And there's certain players that have been selected for long shots that have been taking them, and there's certain players that haven't. And it's the 8 shots and only 3 on target proves that information.
An absolutely stellar performance by Klompe, outdoing Del Vecchio, who, to be fair to him, probably his performance of the season as well.
Yeah, both players never let me down, really. Klompe has the odd shocker, but Del Vecchio's one of those little cogs he always seems to just tick over.
And Inzaghi making it 2 from 2. Is he likely to feature prominently now towards the end of the season? I mean, I can't remember. Montella seems to have gone a few games without scoring now. Yeah,
but he's still about there. Montella loves it. He loves an important goal, Montella, which is why I don't like. I was contemplating dropping him for this game, but if you look at his form, he was shit. Then he got a 10, so you can't really drop it. How can you drop a player who's just got a 10? But then he's been shit again for another 2 games, but he's still got a goal every other game with his stats in the league. In the Super League, if you score every other game, you're doing well.
As for Hulls, it was a fairly solid performance throughout. Only Costanzo, who finished the game rating below a 7. Again, Candela doing well out wide. Viduka and Crespo starting to show signs of a partnership. Vogel, perhaps not his best game he's had recently, but continues to be an important cog in the Hulls machine. And that's now 3 unbeaten for them.
Yeah, it's good. It's always a good run to get it going. And yeah.
A result, arguably, that doesn't really suit either manager, but suits all the chasing pack.
I'd still always take a point than none.
Correct. Are you sticking with us for another game, or are you shooting off?
I'm going to have to run off and go to sleep.
No, well, have a
I love you.
very good sleep, mate. Thank you very much for jumping on and joining us.
Yeah,
and
more than welcome.
Good luck for the rest of the
Anytime.
season.
Yeah, I'll speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon. Cheers, Greavesy.
See you later, mate. Bye.
What have we got left? Let's go Devils next. They host Sloths. And just one change for the hosts, with Soroczynski suspended for this one. Oya comes in, which is a reshuffling of the substitutes bench. But other than that, it is the same team that drew with Bostock Stanley last time out. It was a good performance. That by Devils just very wasteful in front of goal, unlike them. Historically, Sloths, one of the few sides to actually have a superior record to Devils. Devils haven't won in 5 in this fixture. Sloths certainly having the edge, so interesting to see if that continues. Let's have a look then at what Sloths have done. And they've got rid of the asymmetric sort of formation, gone to something a bit more generic, if you like. And Dari, one of the few teams which is playing one holding midfielder, but Zendai is unsurprising. Van der Vaart and Kaluzhny playing centre midfield together. Joe Cole in support of Shearer and Manta, Holland and Babayaro, the two go-to wide players for Sloths at the moment. Sloths last time out, as we saw earlier, losing 3-1 to Northern Burn. Positionally, still sit 12th, but as we know, that doesn't really mean anything with the table, how it is at the moment. I'm a little bit disappointed that we've not seen more of Ibrahimovic after he set the world alight on his debut, and then the following game, he's been left out in the cold. Ebby Sand got called up last time round from the reserve swaps after a couple of decent reserve performances, but yet to have a game. I'd like to think they both might feature sooner rather than later. Jens, if you hang about, as you've asked, Leddersford at home is your next game, mate. Let's kick this one off. I'm sure Rob might actually... Yes, here he is. So I will go to the game, but I'm pleased to say, as Greavesy's disappeared and is off to bed, connecting in via his iPhone is Sloth's boss. Rob, how are you, mate?
Good evening. How are you, mate?
I am very, very well. Thank you for joining me on Saturday Night Super League.
All right. I'm absolutely dim-summed out of my mind, I'm going to be honest.
Yes, you'd suggested you might be having a beverage or two this evening.
I did. I went to watch The Lion King today, which was fantastic. And then I went out for some delicious Chinese dinner. So, yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Lovely. So now you're just looking for a Sloths win to make up the perfect day.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to get a good old-fashioned pump-in tonight.
Well, you say that, but we were saying just before you came on that you're one of the few teams to have a better record against Devils than they have against you. They haven't won in 5, but you have tweaked the formation for this one.
I'm so bad that I just think we're already on next season testing already. So.
Right. It's one of those, is it?
Afraid so, yeah. Shit. Let's just get this shit over with so I can get to bed.
Okay, let's kick this one off for you then and see how it goes. And, Frey forced into the first save of the game, but Devils go straight up the other end through Mpenza and open the scoring on 8 minutes. Is he starting now to chase down the top goal scorers? Although Sigalko did get a couple earlier this evening. Devils with another chance there, but Sloths are having a go at it, that's for sure. Certainly not out of it yet, and tight angle, but failing to convert. It looks like Devils are certainly going to need a second here tonight to wrap that one up. And Oya has picked up an injury, not what Hodgie would want. Interesting to see what he might do here. Ferguson could drop down with maybe Makoka coming on, or does he put Ayala in there as more natural defender? What would you do?
I wouldn't worry about it. I just get on with it because you've already got this one wrapped up. But probably Ferguson in back. I'm more in the middle. Makoku is behind the front man, I reckon.
Oh, interesting. So you'd actually draw 2 players back.
Well, but that's why I'm 13th.
Indeed. While we just wait, because I know Hodgie has sort of got it on in the background while we wait for him to make the decision. Similar question to what I was asking Greavesy. With the league as tight as it is, do you still think you stand a good chance of top 6? Or I know you're saying you're on next season testing already.
I've got more chance of having sex with the Pope than I have getting. You've got more chance of Greavesy going to one of his family parties and not having sex with one of the people who's there than me finishing the top 6.
So he's gone. Well, he said go with the Makoku one. I'm presuming he means my Makoku one, not yours, because Amar's always played this position when he's gone. I'll just give him 20 seconds to confirm that. I'm surprised that someone with your natural confidence is sort of writing the season off.
Oh, it's been a shambles. It's been an absolute shambles. Just can't do anything right. It's not my marriage. What's good? At least I probably care about the slots more than my marriage, though, to be fair. So,
I'm sure that's not true. There is the halftime whistle. Both sides having 4 attempts on goal. So you're certainly matching the Devils. Just they have that, they have the Impenza factor and that ability to score with fewer attempts than certain other teams.
Yeah, it's just same old slots, and it can't create, can't score. Pathetic.
Well, you say you can't create. You've created as much as they have.
I think that's the most shots I've had on goal in the past 3 games, to be fair, combined. So, yeah.
We'll have a look at the home side first so that Hodgie can make any decisions. I mean, they're probably the best halftime ratings 1 to 11 that we've seen from any team tonight so far.
Yeah, it's pretty decent, isn't it? It doesn't bode well for the second half, does it?
You look at Van Bronckhorst, for example, one of the integral members of this squad. He's had very little. Well, it looks like he's had very little involvement, but even then, what he has done, he's done well. And you look at that trio of Impenza, Henry, and Aymar, all very much involved and doing their bit. Impenza having all of the shots. It's almost everyone's just giving him the ball. No one else wants the glory.
Yeah, this is the problem with these sides, isn't it? You've got Impenza FC, you've got Sigalco FC. Take these guys out the side, and these teams are nothing, are they?
Hodgie's going as is, so we click over so you can have a look at your team. Materazzi putting in a solid performance against Ningmatulin. A couple of other notable performances from the likes of Matty Holland and Valgarin and Kaluzhny and Dai.
Can I go Pizarro for Mantaras and Desai for Van der Vaart, please?
You certainly can, sir. Are you leaving Desai in centre midfield, or are you swapping him around?
Let's swap him with MDI.
Like that?
Okay, that'll do. Can't get any worse.
Double change for Sloths then at half time. Let's see how that affects things. And it's paid off instantly. Frey did not even see it as Pizarro levels things up on 49 minutes. And is that a wake-up call? We saw what happened when... Sloths have taken the lead through Shearer. It's 2-1 to the away side as we hit the hour mark. We saw what happened when Gazelle scored against Bern. It woke them up. And Devils are certainly going to need to wake up in this second half if they're to get back in this. Makoku having an attempt, Ferguson getting involved. We're 20 minutes to go now. Let's slow it down a little bit so Rob can enjoy every single second of this. Montero gets a yellow card. And Shearer and Cole. Oh, it's gone wide. Rob's walked off. He just cannot watch. Desai picks it up, and now Holland from the right wing, and Pizarro with a header. Oh, he's got the champagne at the ready. Makoku coming forward for 25 yards out. Van Bronckhorst and Penza tries it low. Good save for the goalkeeper. We are into the last 10 minutes. And here comes Sloths again. It's Bavayara and Pizarro with another header. Oh, but he's put it over again. And there's another injury, Kaluzhny this time. So Pisotto's definitely coming on. Is Matty Holland going central?
Absolutely.
See, look, I don't need you guys. I could just pick your teams for you.
Come on, boys.
Can Sloths hold on? 5 minutes plus injury time. What a win this could be. Zauri coming forward now. Van Bronckhorst. Pisotto gets in the way. Now Materazzi heads it forward. Moving towards... We're into injury time. Makoko coming forward now. Aymar. Zauri. Aymar again. And Penza! And there's the equaliser. And Rob's got his head in his hands. Holland chips it forward though. And Henri, are they going to win it? Makoko! It's 3-2 and 2 goals in injury time. And Rob's got his head in his head. He cannot believe what he's just seen. Rob, I'm so sorry. He's gone to put the champagne back. Unbelievable scenes at the Stadio El Diablo El Fuego El Mete as Devils will 1-up, 2-1 down and win 3-2. What a game. I mean, a round of applause for both teams. What a game that was. And I'm not sure if you've got anything to show in the chat, Rob. Since you went 2-1 up, Ian Campbell went, wow, what a performance. And then suddenly it was, ha, 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 geez. Scott Sadler, oh Lord. Tato, fuck me. Alf, a double sickener for Rob. Duggan, evening, mate. Welcome to the chat. Just says, fuck me sideways. Ian Edwards, oh, bless you, Rob. Hodgie, can I have that champagne, please, Rob? And
Fucking shove it.
And Tato saying this is an absolute farce. What a penultimate game of the evening. I mean, I've left the stats on the screen, Rob, but I don't really want to talk. I just want your instant reaction as we see that Mpenza got man of the match for that.
All I can say is that it looks to me like the slots are back, by the way. So it's never dull, lads. It's never dull.
I mean, it is an absolute... I could see the pain in your eyes as you genuinely started to believe. I can see the champagne seems to be replaced by a fruit shoot.
That's fruity water, yeah.
You genuinely had belief that you were going to hold on there, and to not only lose the win, but to lose the draw inside injury time. Unbelievable.
Well, we've all had fun, haven't we? Look, it's all about the entertainment.
Ian points out it's not often that a goalkeeper gets a 5 like Frey has and is on the winning team.
I don't even know what to say. It's just bullshit.
For those who like to pull out the numbers, I've not done this for a while. Kaluzhny's injury, he's ended up on 6 condition. So pray for Kaluzhny. I mean, the more you look at it, the worse it gets for you, really, isn't it, Rob?
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, it's absolutely terrible, isn't it? Kaluzhny's dead. And Dyer's got 6. Van der Vaart is quite simply the worst signing in the history of the Super League.
I don't know. Ola Sadaby's still at Dudley, but now he's in the reserves. He can't even get in the first team squad.
So apart from that, but I've had a lovely day. So it's been a nice day out. So Joe, I'm gonna open that champagne anyway. Fuck it, I've had fun.
Are you leaving us here to crack open that champagne and go to bed, or do you want to stay for the last game?
I'm going to go because Mrs. Sloth is not happy. So.
No, well, Mrs. Sloth's not happy, and now Mr. Sloth isn't happy. Thank you very much for spending this sort of 5-10 minutes of your Saturday night with us. It's been an absolute pleasure, and commiserations again.
Who's on comms tomorrow?
Not announced yet because we put this bonus show on. We haven't announced it, but I'm sure we'll find someone to do an actual proper co-coms tomorrow.
Right. Night,
Rob. Thank you. It has to be said before we click to the final game. Congratulations, Hodgie. Devils march on. But yeah, what an absolute blinding game that turned out to be. Now, that brings us to the final game of the evening. And Leanne, if you can put Steve down for 5 minutes, please. We'd like some of his time and attention. Steve worked hard to get some of the graphics in place for this bonus episode. I gave him no notice I was doing it, really. So well done to him. He did have plans to go and see his new lady friend this evening, so he had to rush them through after work. I did say I would give him, or I'd give her a shout to say that it was his game, and I also need to send him a little WhatsApp in case he's not got this on in the background, because he wants to watch it and leave her and her guests for 5 minutes. So I will do so now. Steve, it's game time. But we start by looking at Bostock Stanley and the team that they've submitted. Rob's got straight in the chat. Absolute bullshit. If I remember correctly, they have had to make a change because Silvestri suspended, so Live drops back into centre-back. It's Welsh and Decor. Last time you remember, they played the one at the back for the game against the Devils. They've reverted back to a more traditional formation. Bowyer, Del Piero, Jackson and Anelka continue. There he is. Oi, oi, Steve. Message received. Saturday Night Special is the name of this particular tactic. Bostock have an excellent record against Dudley Hill, although the 4 points that it says Dudley have picked up have been in the last 2 games, so the tide is certainly turning there. Let's have a look at the Dudley Hill team, who also make a couple of changes. Mackay comes in for Oliveira from the last game, and also there was another one. Steve Finnan is in for the suspended Zanetti. Last time out, they had that draw with Churchtown, where Dimble apologised to Steve for it. If either Scott or if Steve's managed to go into a different room, if he wants to jump on for this last game of the evening, either manager are more than welcome. It is the last game of the evening. Predictions, please, as we kick off. Been here in spirit. I'm sure you have, mate. I'm sure you have. We kick off the final game, and in the first minute, Dudley have an attempt but fail to score. Bostock now coming forward. 2 teams again. It's worth noting these 2 are both currently in the top 6 and will, regardless, end the night in the top 6, no matter what the result is. But both it'd be if Bostock want to keep touch with the top 2, they need to win. If Dudley want to keep a gap to the dotted line, they need to win. And Lizarazu has given them the lead on 29 minutes. And Dudley, who haven't necessarily been getting the results of late that their performances have warranted, we look back at that last game at Churchtown as a prime example. Suddenly, they're beating Bostock, deservedly so. If you look at those stats at half-time as well. And the question remains, are Dudley the real McCoy this year? We'll start with a look at the home side in case Steve needs to shoot off. Lizarazu, they're rating 9 at half-time, as is Gareth Southgate, putting in a solid performance. It's good ratings all round, just Zanoni rating 6 or lower. No real fitness concerns either. Perhaps you'd want Saviola a little bit more involved, but nothing much to complain about if you're of the Dudley Hill persuasion there. Click over to Bostock. Lefropoulos putting in a solid game. Just needs a little bit more from his teammates to get them back into this. Be interesting to see if Scott changes it up as well. Robbie Keane possibly an option, maybe in place of Carlos Jacques. Although, as it's been said many times, Jacques is very much a Scott player and he will back him all the way. Steve going as is, so just waiting then confirmation from Scott if he wants to change anything. 2 men who will be alarmed by the news that it sounds like if it's not been confirmed while we're live on air, it sounds like Bielsa is on his way out of Leeds. And it's Anelka coming off at half-time. That's a surprise from Bostock. Robbie Keane coming on. So yes, news that Bielsa may well, if it's not already been confirmed while we're live, it looks like he's on his way out at Ellen Road. And I believe it's an American, not so well-known American manager lined up to replace him potentially. But let's return here. We've passed the hour mark and second half is flying by with not much happening. We will slow it down though as the match is still in the balance. 20 minutes to go. Finnan with the free kick. Saviola goes down. Another free kick. Addo to line it up. Good control from Mackay. Goes past Roberto. Decor, however, doesn't let him go any further. It looks more likely at the moment that Dudley Hill are going to score. As Mackay and Saviola, they're just not shooting. It's another wasted opportunity as they pass to each other. 73 now on the clock. It's still very Dudley dominated. This really will be a statement from them if they can hold on to this. But nothing is guaranteed in the Super League, as we saw from the last game. Del Piero surely to strike this free kick, deflects off the wall. Finner manages to clear. And another free kick. Another yellow card for a Dudley Hill defender. And it's Wayne Oldham. Missed the infamous Wayne Oldham in charge of this final game. And Jacques, it deflects. Del Piero picks it up. Solly gets the ball though. Looks to relieve the pressure on Dudley Hill. Bostock really looking for this equaliser. Del Piero misses the target completely. Goal kick, 3 minutes to be added on. Now Boya, Jacques, Welsh, Decor, Cafu, Jacques again, Zé Roberto on the other side. Del Piero, but a save, and he holds on to it. We're into injury time. There is the final whistle. Huge win for Dudley Hill, that. And now Northern Burn even can sigh a bit of relief as gaps start to appear after a few results tonight. Dudley Hill probably deserving of the victory when you look at the stats. So well done, Steve. You can go and celebrate in style now, sir. I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening. We'll have a look at the individual player stats. Addo picking up man of the match. Solid performances all around. Just Zanoni, as we said at half time, perhaps not quite at his best tonight. And as for Bostock, again, solid ratings throughout. That very strong performance. They just were unable to break through that Dudley wall. And Dudley have been very resolute this year. So perhaps a bit of a surprise when you think of some of the performances and results of Bostock. But impressive nonetheless. I'm just going to, one of the children's being picked up by a mother, so I will leave you looking at the classified results. I'll be back in 2 minutes to go through some stats. Lovely. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye. And I am back, having said goodbye. Let's a quick flick through the classifieds. Then we had Astor 0, Dragons 1, Dudley 1, Bostock 0, Gazelles 1, Burn 3, Haggis 1, Churchtown 0, Leddersford 0, Fulchester 2, Loco 1, Halls 1, Devils 3, Sloths 2. I'd like to go to a party hosted by Fife. I'm not sure you would, mate. I'd like to go to a party hosted by Ian, personally. Still need to work out when I'm getting up to Edinburgh. And we have, game 19, we have the first queue. Congratulations, Devils. They have their queue. They are guaranteed a top 6 spot. 47 points, 11 clear of Northern Burn. Bostock now 5 points behind after tonight's results. Fulchester a point behind on 30. Dudley a point behind them on 29. Leddersford, despite losing... excuse me. Let's try that again. Leddersford, despite losing tonight, maintain their top 6 position on 25 points. Hall's a point behind on 24. Then we've got a cluster of 3 teams, Haggis, Dragons and Churchtown, all on 23. We've got Loco on 21. You can see the gap starting to build. Then we still have 2 teams on 20, Sloths and Astor. Still only 5 points. It's still very much achievable with, what are we saying, 26, 7 games to go. And Gazelles 5 points behind on 15. The fixtures for tomorrow night, I am going to be doing the packs tonight once we go off the air. Do you know what, Mac? I think it could be the quickest queue ever. What have we got tomorrow? We have Bostock versus Haggis. Churchtown at home to Loco, Dragons v Gazelles, Fulchester v Astor, Halls Leddersford, what a game that is, Northern Burn Devils, battle of the top two, and Spartak Sloths v Dudley. As I was saying earlier, I don't have a co-coms lined up yet, so if anyone wants to put their name in the hat, I would certainly welcome one or two of you on the show tomorrow night from 9. Thank you everyone who has spent part of your Saturday night with me. Very, very much appreciated. And you never know, it might be something we do again if situation allows. If you want it, I mean, it's all for you guys at the end of the day. You tell me, did you enjoy having a bonus round? Is it something you would like to have again if time allows at some point, another bonus round? Did it work with just me doing the commentary and flying through and allowing you guys to jump on as you wanted? I quite liked it, having a mix of people coming on throughout the games and talking about their clubs. I certainly think it worked. But I will wait further feedback. But from me, 5V at Super League HQ, from a, well, let's just say my living room's been turned upside down. Until tomorrow night, yes, 2 games in 24 hours. Until tomorrow night, good night.